Okay, class, it's time to submit this lab. So how are we gonna submit this lab? Actually quite simple. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our virtual machine, right? We're gonna open a file manager, minimize this guy, minimize this guy. We can close this, open a file manager, and then go to your repository. Inside labs, right click and create a new folder. Call this lab 2. You remember all the screenshots that I told you you should be taking? Take this screenshot, this other screenshot. Okay, this is when they come handy. So you're gonna open that folder. Just gonna put this on the side over here. Minimize this, minimize this. Now in my computer, I have my screenshots right over here in a folder inside documents. So I'm gonna copy all of this, just select them and drag and drop them inside this folder here. Now if this doesn't work for you, send the images to your email and download them inside your virtual machine. Sometimes the guest additions drag and drop feature in Windows is problematic or doesn't work the right way. Don't panic. This is the only time we're going to be using this feature. So just send your the images to yourself, then put them and then download them in the virtual machine, and that's it. As long as you have them here, that's fine. Just make sure you put them inside lab 2 right over here, because this is going to be very important for us. Now I'm going to close the file manager. In VS Code, let me just close VS Code and open it again. I'm going to click on File, Open Folder, CIS 106, Open. Now notice here that I have a new folder called Lab 2 with some text. I'm going to create a new file over here and I'm going to call it lab2.md. It's a markdown file. Now I'm going to add a couple of things here. So this is called a font matter, and here we're just going to put some information about ourselves. So we're going to put name here, semester. And if you're taking this class in a spring, then it will be a spring. If you're taking that in fall, it will be in fall. And then the year, 2023. And then course, which is CIS 106, Linux Fundamentals. Right? So once you've done that, see these are 3 minus signs over here, 3 minus signs in the end, and then that information on top. Now here we're gonna create a title. The title of this is Lab 2 Installing Ubuntu Submission. Then title number 2, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. Question 5 has no submission, so I don't have to put nothing over there. Now when I was taking my screenshot, I went ahead and named them in a way that it was easy for me to remember them. For example, this is my screenshot for question 1, part 1 and part 2. Because I'm using Linux, specifically Pop! OS, in my computer, my screenshot for question 1 doesn't look like yours. Yours is you're using Windows, so here you're gonna have your screenshots are not gonna look like mine for this one in particular, right? But these are the screenshots that prove that virtualization is enabled in your computer. So how do I put them here? Now we're gonna use Markdown here again to place the images in our document. So question mark, brackets, and parentheses. Question 1.1, and then here question 1.1, perfect. Question 1.2, that's the description, and then here question 1.2. Then now we're gonna do question number 2. So for question number 2, same thing, question 2, and then question 2, right? Again, if you want to get that menu for easy auto completion, is Control and Spacebar. So we do question 3, and then we do Control Q, U, Control and Spacebar, question 3. Then finally, question 4. So here, Q4, question 4. Let's save it. And now we're gonna right click and we're gonna preview this document. Always preview the document before you convert to PDF, so that you know that your images are successfully there. See here, they are all my images. This is my submission for lab number 2. So I'm gonna close this. Perfect. I'm gonna close this because I don't need it either. I'm gonna make sure I save my document, right click, and then convert to PDF. We're gonna give it a second for it to happen, and the file has successfully been converted to PDF. Right, so I have my submission over here, beautifully done. Perfect. Now that I know that everything is there, if you're having problems with, with the equations, make sure that, it's spelled correctly, because if it's not spelled correctly, that's gonna be the first problem. If you need any assistance, make sure that when you ask me the question, you put on a screenshot of how VS Code looks like to you, so that I can help you better. Right? But if you have been following instructions correctly, you should be good to go. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open a terminal. We're gonna click on new terminal. Then here we're gonna do git pull. Okay, so we know that what we have sent to GitHub and what is in GitHub, it's correct. So we're gonna git add period. Okay, notice that now this changed to added. Now we're gonna do git commit -m finished lab 2. Perfect. Now we're gonna do git push. Perfect. No error message was given, and if we go to GitHub over here and we refresh, notice that inside labs now we have 2 folders, lab 1 and lab number 2. Now go to lab number 2, open the markdown file and leave it there, because we're gonna need that screenshot. Review it, make sure that all the screenshots are there. And now, what are you gonna give me? Well, inside Blackboard, you are gonna give me the file lab2.md, the PDF file for lab2.md, so you're gonna give me that file and this file, and you're gonna give me this URL. Again, this URL, which is the URL to this page, the lab2.md file and the PDF file. If you're having problems understanding this, there is a video on the YouTube channel that can also be found on Blackboard. I believe, yeah, the video is right here in the course material, and it's called How to Submit Your Work. And it's gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's minimize that. Once you have submitted this, you finish lab number 2. That's your 100 points right there. Now, special notes. Virtualization is something you will use a lot throughout your entire college career. This might be the first time that you see it, but it's not going to be the last one. You'll use VirtualBox a lot. My advice to you is practice this lab. Create a couple of virtual machines and delete them. Right? You can create as many virtual machines as you want. Just delete them after you create them. And that way you make sure that, they are there. It's important. Virtualization opens a world of possibilities, especially for students. It's used everywhere in the business world. Pretty much every website you access nowadays is run inside a virtual machine or a container. But before you can understand containers, you need to understand virtualization. So my advice, study. With that said, if you have any questions, reach out to me via Slack, and I'll be more than happy to help you or send you a Zoom link. Take care.